Good morning. Welcome to Pulling Back the Veil. My name is Tony. I'm going to take you through a pre-Mass routine. First, the sound system needs to be turned on. This switch handles the main sound system. Now that it's on, it's activated. Everything here is part of the sound system. Next, we select the priest's vestment, whatever he's going to wear for that particular Mass. This morning at 11:30, there is a funeral. It's a memorial service. So we put out a white garment appropriate for the funeral service. When Father comes, he will set the book for the readings for the funeral Mass. From that point, we move to the other part of the sacristy, which is the working section. This is the vesting section of the sacristy. The next section is the working section. In here, since it is a funeral Mass, we will need incense. And because of that, we have to get our charcoal out. Getting it all ready so that when Father needs the charcoal, it'll simply be lit and smoking. Next, we move to the sanctuary. In the sanctuary, the thurible has been set up and ready for the incensing. The candles have been dropped down so that they can be pre-lit prior to the service beginning. Next, we move to the altar. On the altar, the book has already been preset for a funeral service for the deceased. And from that point, it's in Father's hands. The tabernacle has been, the key for the tabernacle is already there, ready to go. There are some consecrated hosts in the tabernacle, but maybe not enough, depending on how many people can show up for the service. From that point on, it's in Father's hands. My responsibilities at that point become simply being an altar server. So now I will assist Father in the Mass with getting him his chalice, the water and wine, all of what he needs to consecrate hosts for the Mass. From that point on, I sit back and relax and just wait for whatever happens. If I'm told that the people whose funeral it is do not have readers, then it would be my responsibility to do the first reading, the second reading, if there happens to be one. Normally there is, one from the Old Testament, one from the New Testament. And then if I have to do the intercessions, I will do that as well. If not, Father would do the intercessions, but I would do the readings. And then from that point, it's the incensing, depending on whether or not there's a body present. This particular one, there will not be a body present. Since there's no body present, there will be a incensing of the ashes of the altar. Then later on, there will be an incensing of the ashes or the remains. And from that point, the Mass will be concluded. Afterward, it's my job to clean up. So extinguishing all the candles, putting out the lights, changing the book for tomorrow's morning Mass, which starts at 7, and setting up for the readings of the day tomorrow. We will go back into the sacristy, and from that point, what we will do is set up the vestments that the priest will need for tomorrow morning. In order to find out what we will need for tomorrow morning, we go to the Ordo. And when looking at the Ordo, tomorrow would be St. John Newman, and it's obligatory, so it is a Mass that we have to do for St. John Newman. So we will set up a white garment for the priest for tomorrow morning, and then go back out and set up the lectionary for the readings of the day. I lock up and go home. And that's the extent of a day when there is a mass. When there's no mass, or at the end of the day for a mass, then there are small things to do. Making sure that the microphones are put back in their saddle and so that they can recharge. Making sure that there's enough incense and enough wine. So that may have to be mixed. We mix our own wine. We take 2 bottles of wine that's been approved, and then we mix them for our priests have different tastes. So we mix them for the taste of the priest. And then from that point, we're all set for that day. We have to make out bags. And then every once in a while, like about once every couple of weeks, we go into the closet. And in the closet here are all the holy vessels that have to be used for the Mass. Father Federico's chalice is in here. Father Roman's chalices are in here. And every once in a while they get cleaned. They have to be washed. And just, we do them more now because of the virus. So they're done at least once a week now. You can take a look in here if you want. Sure. And you can see that the vessels are all just lined up on shelves. They have names attached to them. We also have a spare chalice for a visiting priest, which none of our priests would use. And this we use in case, we don't want other priests using chalices that belong to our priests. Sure. Over here, you'll see this is the working section of the sacristy. So in here, everything's been labeled. So people, if I'm not here, people can come in here. They know that down here there are Stations of the Cross booklets. They know that here there are pencils and signs. In here is the charcoal for the incense lighting, and there's also other things. But everything's labeled. There's a lost and found. The same is true in the vesting side of this sacristy, where all the priests have things labeled for them. There's a drawer for baptisms, a drawer for matrimony, a drawer for funerals. So everything is in there in case I'm not available or in case there's an emergency. They know where to go. There's one last thing that you should be aware of. That back here, since this is the area where everything that's needed for the Mass is kept. So here are all unconsecrated hosts and small bottles of holy water. Because on Sundays, every once in a while on Sundays, this Sunday we didn't have a baptism, but most of the time we have baptisms on Sunday. So the baptism material is kept in here. So are the holy waters that we give out to the new parents, as well as candles. That's in a separate area, but we have them all available right here. Extra missals, non-consecrated priestly hosts, hospital hosts, and regular bread for consumption by the community on Sunday or any day of the week. With that, I will say goodbye and thank you.